la 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 la. Yeah, I be wanting to do these little sit down talk videos all the time, but I never really know how to put into words while recording what I want to say. And I always got a lot to say. I just don't never say it because it be hard. So I'm gonna try today to talk about some things, and I think I want to kind of like go over, kind of talk about like forgiveness, forgiving yourself. Something I've learned about myself is I have been battling for years with forgiving myself. Like, I have learned how to forgive others, and I've learned how to be cordial with people that I have had to forgive in life that have done some things to me. I have had to forgive these people because I have walked around carrying so much resentment, and because of resentment, I have seemed to show on my outer appearance, my facial expressions, and just like the way I would act and stuff like that. It would show on me. So I had to forgive these people, not for them, but for me. But it has been hard forgiving myself because I had to forgive myself for the version of me that I became when I would be upset about things that happened to me and how I would react, because I have not been the best at reacting to things that have been sent to destroy me. I tend to want to retaliate on things instead of me letting God have it. I have been the type of person who has to just retaliate or mirror people or want someone to feel the way I felt, and those types of things have caused me to, what I quote unquote say, become the villain in people's story, which I never really 100% cared about, because I felt like if you want to make me feel away, you deserved it. But at the end of the day, that wasn't my job to make people feel a certain type of way, or have to react to certain things, or make, certain things, because at the end of the day, sometimes people don't actually be knowing that they're hurting your feelings or hurting you because of how they are, how they were raised. And no, it's not your job to sit and try to help people or make them treat you a certain type of way, or make them know what to do when it comes to you, especially if you're not a good communicator and you don't tell people how you feel. Then they kind of technically don't know what to do when it comes down to you. A lot of times we'll think that people naturally should know how to treat us or know how to operate, especially in friendships and stuff like that. And we will not communicate how we feel or when something bothers us, and then we will just start to mirror them. And that does not make the situation better. It actually makes it worse. And in the end, they could be just like, why you just ain't tell me, when you could have just literally communicated. And I have not been great at communication. So I tend to, like I said, retaliate in a way that should not have been, I should have done. And I had to come to realize that was my fault. That is not anyone else's fault when it comes down to my lack of communication and the things that hurt me or bother me. And for a long time, I did not forgive myself. Like, although I would forgive people for what they've done to me and how they treated me, regardless if I didn't communicate or did not communicate with them, or how those things should have played out, I should, I would beat myself up for so long. I started to believe that I really was a villain. I really was a bad person, because I didn't even tell people how to treat me. So, like, how could you be upset with how people treat you when you lack boundaries and you lacked communication? And those people did those things because you lacked boundaries. You did not tell people when they should and shouldn't do certain things, and you would never say no. So people fed off of that. So how could you be upset with those people? So now I do speak up and I say how things make me feel. I don't be, passive aggressive. That's something that people tend to do too, is that when, instead of speaking up about things and how they make them feel, they will become very passive aggressive, say things, talk at people and not to people about certain things. Like, I don't feel like everything should always be addressed. I'm not going to address everything, because there are some things that naturally should be, in you. And if it's not in you, it's just not in you. So I do not address everything, but I also don't allow people to make me feel away and then I just continue on, or, brush stuff under the rug no more, because those things do hurt, and I have feelings and I have emotions too, and I should not have to act a certain way to make you see that you're hurting me, or I shouldn't treat you the same way you treated me so you can see how it feels, because that's not who I am as a person. And it literally does turn you into a villain, a bitter person, a resentful person, an angry person, And that's not the person that I wanted to be anymore, because I hated how people would portray me after a certain amount of time, because I was pretty much mirroring them, being like them. And now they're upset with me for being, that type of person. And that's just not the person that I wanted to be anymore. Like, come on, you got to forgive yourself, move on, and you have to do better when it comes down to communication. And you a lot of times, you don't even have to communicate certain things if you would just set those boundaries from the jump. People learn how to treat you over time, but if they see that you're not the type of person that's going to deal with certain things, they don't even try you. And I know this because of the type of person I am now, and how I move about in this world. I notice how people treat me differently now that I don't allow them to even start with, pressing my boundaries and coming to me in a certain type of way. They don't even try it because they already see that I'm not going to allow it. It still amazes me though, because I sometimes reflect on that stuff like, man, I can't believe that that's how I would react to people, and that's how I would do certain play in certain situations. Because like, girl, why would you even do that? Why would you even mirror people or make them feel the way you felt when you know how horrible you felt in those situations? And I understand that sometimes you want to make people feel how you feel, or you want to show people certain things, but at the end of the day, it don't even be worth it. Like, it don't even be worth it. Just communicate it. And if you don't want to communicate how you felt about a certain situation, just let it go and let it be. But don't become that person, because mirroring people, showing people how they treat you, and doing people the way they do you, didn't do nothing but turn, it spiraled. It spiraled for me. Like, it spiraled for me. It caused me to have so much negative energy around me. Like, I had to pray so much to get myself out of a place of, showing people who they are. Because the more you show people who they are, the more you become like those people. And you'll be thinking like, oh, it ain't that big of a deal. They know how I feel. But is that really who you want to be? Is that really how you want to be? Is that how you really want to maneuver in life? Like, God has so many great things for you, and He cannot give you that if you out here mirroring people and treating people how they treat you. Like, come on, be for real. It took me some time to kind of like learn that, and I still have my days where I kind of like feel like, ooh, I be wanting to dibble back and forth into being that type of person. But I know God has been calling me to do so much more. He's been convicting me. I have been fasting a lot more and praying, and I've been by myself a lot more, only go places, pretty much that I'm invited to. I haven't really been doing too many things. Don't get me wrong, because I'm going to be doing some solo dates again. I'm getting ready to do my next solo date, actually. And in this process, God has been talking to me. He's been showing me some things and just letting me know, like, I have things planned for you, and I can't give it to you until you get out of that behavior. So now that I have forgiven myself, I don't care about if anybody feels like, oh, I remember how she used to be. Oh, I remember what she used to do. I remember how, she retaliated in this situation. And I remember how she X, Y, and Z, like how she changed and how she this now all of a sudden. All of that type of talk don't even matter to me no more. I don't care how anybody feels about me changing or being a better person or choosing to be this way now. That's the past. It is what it is. I've forgiven myself, and whoever don't forgive me for how I reacted or treated them is on them. As long as I ask for forgiveness and I actually change and to be a better person, that's all God wants me to do. And He wants me to tell my testimony and actually be a better person. And that's just what it is. But yeah, so that's really what I wanted to talk about. Just like, forgive yourself. I understand we all make mistakes, and we all have days where we, go through things, and it's easy. To me, in my opinion, I feel like it's easier for people to forgive others than it is for us to forgive ourselves, because, a lot of people act like they ain't did no wrong, but a lot of times we be knowing that we did wrong and we shouldn't have did a certain thing, but we kind of like play like, oh, it ain't my fault. It isn't another. No, sometimes you do need to like sit back, think about your role in certain situations, what you did, how that could have, been prevented, what you could have did differently. I had to assess myself on those types of things and forgive myself for that. Like, come on, you got to be a better person, not just for myself, for my daughters, for the people around me, for the people that God has called me to be a light in their lives. And I can't be a light in people's lives if I'm out here mirroring people and showing other people how they treat me. Like, nah, I can't do that no more. I just learned how to, treat people accordingly, like move on. forgive them, smile, and just go on about my life. And a lot of these things have come to me because I talk to my mama a lot. And having these conversations with my mama also have helped me to forgive people, let it go, and move on. Like, people are going to be who they are. Let them be who they are. You don't have to act like them just because that's who they are. Let them be who they are, girl. Let them be exactly who they are. That has nothing to do with you. And letting people be who they are has helped me to not be so angry. Because there's been so many times where I've been so angry because I can see people like doing a nice persona. And I'm like, man, I know how people really are in real life. Like, you know, and it would really make me upset. But now it's like, girl, let people be who they are. You do what you're supposed to do and move on with your life. But yeah, forgive yourself, forgive others, move on, be of light, and just, you know, do what you gotta do. This is the finished look. Just realized, y'all, I didn't even put on no highlighter. This is my favorite highlighter. This is by the crayon case. I still use the crayon case. It'd be crazy because the way you look in the mirror versus the camera be totally different. Like, girl, is you or is you? Is you or is you? Because I don't know if the mirror is really me or if the camera is really me. Because the mirror and the camera don't be looking the same.